Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for coming to Apollo Career Center. Today, we gather to honor those who have served or are serving in the United States military. We honor the many men and women who have given so much so that we may enjoy all the freedoms we have in this country. We at Apollo talk a lot about being next ready. There is not another group of people who understand or are better trained and prepared for whatever is next than our veterans. We are humbled to have the following branches represented today. As I call your branch, please stand so that you may be recognized. Those of you who have served in the United States Air Force. Those of you who have served in the United States Army. Those of you who have served in the United States Army National Guard. Those of you who have served in the United States Marine Corps. And those of you who have served in the United States Navy. We thank you for your service and welcome you to Apollo Career Center. You serve as a great example of respect, responsibility, and honor. Thank you. Apollo is also proud to recognize 7 students who are enlisted in the armed forces who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today. When I call your name, please come forward. Elijah DeCock, Dalton Salyers, Evan Kessler, Caden Haskins, Daniel Jenkins, Gabriel Harvey, and Skylar Kirk. Please stand if you're able and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the national anthem sung by cosmetology instructor Mrs. Lynn Nutt.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets behind the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We are also proud of the veterans on staff who every day provide a strong and purposeful education to our students and have honorably served our country. Please stand as I call your name. Mr. Micah French, United States Navy. Mr. Eldon Miller, United States Army Reserves. Mr. Alan Pollock, United States Navy. Mr. Ted Kerner, United States National Guard. Mr. Ken Snyder, United States Army. Mr. Mark Ernst, United States Army. Mr. Dave Kinzer, National Guard. Mr. Richard McPherson, United States Army. Mr. Curtis Aldridge, United States Army. Mr. John Bishop, Air Force. Mr. Chad Couples, United States Army. And Mr. David Parker, Air National Guard and Air Force. We thank you for your service. At this time, I welcome Mrs. Sarah Jamison, Assistant Principal here at Apollo, to come to the podium.
Again, thank you so much for your service. Now I would like to ask Elijah Dupac to come forward and share a few words that he has prepared.
Hello, everybody. I'll keep this pretty brief. I see a couple people eyeballing the cookies over there. In our lives, we are all faced with challenges, turmoil, and most of all, adversity. In most cases, this is what makes us strong, but the strongest understand that this is what ultimately creates diversity. In my lifetime, I've always had a slight interest in serving the land of the free and the home of the brave. And as time continued, I started to fall out of love with that idea and started to follow the pack of my peers into an interest in participating in events that were smaller than myself. When I was young, I was surrounded by those of my family and friends who had served in years past, whether this be in Vietnam, Korea, the Gulf War, or the Middle East. I was always infatuated with their stories of triumph and brotherhood through a young and wild imagination. And as I grew away from those stories and people, but eventually found my way back into this exciting pathway that is known as the greatest American sacrifice. Enlisting in the military is the biggest leap of faith many people in this room have ever taken, but even more so, the greatest beginning to a young adult's next chapter. This room is not only full of stories of pride, but full of people who have taken a path in being prideful of their own accomplishments, and for that we all applaud you and thank you with the most grace and respect a being can set forth. With all of this being said, thank you for your service and happy Veterans Day weekend.
Your wins and following feet, sir.
Thank you. Giving yourself to service of our country is, as Elijah so eloquently put it, such a sacrifice in so many ways, from the time away from loved ones and to the countless hours given in a day's work. However, there is no greater sacrifice than the ultimate sacrifice that Gold Star families are all too familiar with. We are honored to have two Gold Star families, the Neffs and the Schoolcrafts. It is a privilege to say that these families, who have raised sons who valiantly served in the Army and lost their lives overseas, are and always will be a part of our Apollo family. Christian Monroe Neff was a graduate of Apollo's Computer Information Support Program and Shawnee High School. Christian served during Operation Iraqi Freedom. He gave his life for our country on September 19, 2007. He was 19 years old. John Michael, or as his family and friends call him, Mike, Schoolcraft, was a graduate of Apollo's Auto Collision Program at Wapakoneta High School. Mike was serving his second tour of duty and was stationed in Iraq. He gave his life for our country on January 18, 2008. He was 26 years old. Please join me in a moment of silence to honor their service. Thank you. It is an honor to have you with us today. To say thank you seems so insufficient. However, we want you to know that although the world may seem to keep spinning as usual, we here at Apollo will always remember your beautiful sons and your families. Not only on this day, but every day. We honor the sacrifice both you and your sons have made in service to our country. Thank you again. I would like to present our speakers for today. We have Sergeant Nohas and Specialist Perot from the U.S. Army.
Before I begin, I would like to thank Mrs. Shepherd for inviting myself. I'm Sergeant Nohax. This is Specialist Carell. I want to thank the Gold Star families for being here in attendance today. We are graced by your presence and for the sacrifices your families made and continue to make every single day. Any and all veterans in the crowd, thank you for being in attendance today. It's honestly an honor to see so many veterans in attendance with the staff at this school. Gives me hope that once I'm out of the military, I can continue to serve, teaching children, doing what you guys do every single day. On this 69th Veterans Day, we're gathered here today to celebrate the veterans who have served, and like I said, Gold Star families here in attendance. My brothers and sisters in arms, your and my loved ones, families, friends who served and continue to serve this nation, its free citizens are forever in your debt. I have a small caveat though. Remember that it's not just about those who signed on the dotted lines. This is also a day to remember the sacrifices Gold Star families and other families throughout the entire country make every single day. As we know, when we deploy, life changes for us, but life back home continues to carry on. The world keeps turning. Our families help us as service members take care of things back at home. Bills obviously don't stop. Children still need raised. Unexpected emergencies that happen at home. These family members continue to hold down the fort, so to speak, while we're away serving our country. As service members, I want to take this time to thank every veteran in attendance, the Gold Star families, everyone serving, the young adults and teenagers who I just learned signed on the dotted line or are going to sign on the dotted line. You will not regret this decision. It is the best thing I have ever done with my life and continue to do. So, thank you for being here today. My name is Sergeant Nohax. This was Specialist Carell.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today and allowing us to thank you. You are invited to stay and enjoy some refreshments and visit with your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews. So again, thank you for coming. Enjoy your time here. Please help yourself to refreshments. Restrooms are also straight across the commons just next to the refreshment table as well. Thank you.